Suppose here one body is at rest on the smooth horizontal surface. Here another body is there. Another body is there which is moving with certain velocity. Whenever it makes collision with this one, immediately the moment of the body changes suddenly, no? Because collision cannot be taken place for a long time. Just momentarily, these two bodies come in contact and the exchange of momentum takes place, and suddenly this body fly off. And these two bodies travel with different velocities. That means the change in momentum takes place in a short interval of time due to the large force acts on the one body due to the other for a small interval of time. So such large force acts on a body for a small interval of time is called the impulsive force, and the small interval of time for which that large force acts is called time of impulse. So large force acts on a body for small interval of time. You see, whenever these two bodies are coming in contact, like this, then this body exerts the force on this body. This body exerts the force on this body in this direction. Okay, that means these forces acts on one body due to other body is the very large force. That's why that is called an impulsive force. F is called an impulsive force. F is called an impulsive force. And the time for which the impulsive force acts is called time of impulse or impulsive time. Time of impulse. So impulse gives a sudden change in momentum of a body. So impulse gives a sudden change in momentum of a body. Sudden change in the momentum of a body. So impulse gives the sudden change in the momentum of a body. Okay. Here, moreover, if impulse is more, change in momentum is more. Change in momentum is more means whenever the force exerted by one body on the other body is very large, then the change in momentum of the body is very large. That's why impulse gives the measure of degree of impulsive force acts on the body. So impulse gives the measure of degree of the impulsive force acts on a body. That's why it gives the measure of degree to which an external force it gives. That means impulse gives the measure of degree of force that changes the measure of degree to which an external force changes the momentum. Measure of degree to which impulsive force changes or simply force changes the momentum of your body. The momentum of your body. So ultimately, impulse gives change in momentum of a body means final momentum of a body minus initial momentum of the body. Delta P, delta small p. Change in momentum or final momentum minus initial momentum. But according to Newton's second law of motion, F is equal to force acts on a body is equal to change in momentum by time. No, change in momentum by time implies change in momentum is equal to F into delta t. No, therefore impulse, linear impulse or simply impulse. Linear impulse or simply impulse J is equal to change in momentum delta p. That is equal to change in momentum is equal to F into delta t. We can write now F into delta t. As force is a vector quantity, change in momentum is also a vector quantity. So J bar, F bar. Here change in momentum is also a vector quantity. That is also equal to final momentum minus initial momentum. Or that is also equal to final momentum is mass into final velocity bar minus mass into initial velocity bar. These are the different formulas for change in momentum of your body. Actually, we cannot find the time interval for which this force acts because here large force acts on a body in a very small interval of time. That's why we cannot measure this time. So in order to find the change in momentum of your body for a small interval of time, the change in momentum of your body is J into T. You see, for a small interval of time, the change in momentum of your body is equal to F into dt. we can write. As the collision takes place for a very small interval of time. In a small interval of time, the change in moment of your body is equal to, we can write change in moment is equal to F into T, no? So F into dt. The total change in moment of your body from T1 to T2 is equal to how much, means integral T1 to Tt. That is the total change in moment of your body, which is equal to linear impulse or simply impulse. This is equal to change in momentum, delta P. So if the force varies with time, in such case, in order to find the impulse acts on a body, or in order to find the change in moment of a body, then we use the integration method here. Generally, suppose when the ball is hit by a bat, the force exerted by bat on the ball varies with the time in different manner. It does not, the bat cannot exert the constant force on a ball continuously. Whenever the ball hits the bat, at that time, the force exerted by bat on the ball gradually increases from 0 to certain maximum value. Suppose here, example, when ball hit by a bat, in such case, the force acts on the bat, the force acts on the ball with the time that varies according to the graph like this. That means that T is equal to T1, the force starts acting on the ball when the ball come in contact with the bat. Then after that, the deformation takes place, gradually increases. When deformation gradually increases, the force acts on the particle ball gradually increases, reaches maximum value, so that maximum deformation takes place. After that, the ball starts reforming. While the ball starts reforming, the force acts on the ball gradually decreases, so that the ball regaining their original shape gradually, so that whenever the ball regaining their original shape, the potential energy stored in the ball gradually converting into kinetic energy, and whenever the ball loses contact with the bat at a time t2 seconds, at that time the ball almost regains their original shape. Due to that, after that, the ball acquires the maximum velocity. With that velocity, it leaves the bat. So whenever during collision, whenever the ball hit by a bat, at the time, how does the force acts on the ball? Force exerted by the bat on the ball varies with time. That can be represented like this. You see, the area under FT graph gives what? Area under FT graph gives what? Tell me. Area under FT graph gives what? Area under FT graph gives what? Area under FT graph means F into dt. F into T or F into dt. F into T means that is the impulse, no? Area under the graph means F into T, that is equal to F into T is equal to impulse, no? F into T is equal to change in momentum, that is impulse. Change in momentum, that is equal to impulse only, no? That's why impulse J is equal to integral F into dt. That is equal to change in momentum, delta small p. That is equal to area under FT graph. Area under FT graph. So in this way, with the help of these formulas, we can find the impulse. But here, impulse is a vector quantity. So what is the SI unit of impulse? SI unit of impulse. Impulse is equal to force into time. Force into time means Newton second. Or it is the unit of momentum also, because change in momentum is also impulse. That's why it is equal to, the unit is momentum unit. Momentum means kilogram meter per second, we can write. This is also the unit of the impulse in SI system. Next, what about the dimension formula of linear impulse? Dimension formula of impulse is equal to dimension formula of F into T. Because force into time is the impulse, no? That's why F into T. F means ml t to the power of -2 into T means capital T. Therefore, dimension formula of impulse is equal to ml t to the power of -1 or m to the power of 1 l to the power of 1 t to the power of -1, we can write. It is the dimension formula of impulse. In how many ways the body can receive the impulse? In how many ways the moment of the body can be changed? in how many ways the body can receive the impulse, in that much ways the momentum of the body can be changed. So there are different types of impulse. Impulse due to normal force, impulse due to tension, impulse due to friction. In this way, in different ways the body can receive the impulse. So we have to discuss in detail about those different types. Okay. Types of impulse now. Types of impulse. Exercise heading, types of impulse. First one, impulse of normal force or impulse due to normal force. First one, impulse due to normal force or impulse of normal force. Impulse due to normal force. Suppose here on the smooth horizontal surface there are two bodies. One body moving with a velocity u1 having certain mass, say m1. Another body moving with a velocity u2. Another body moving with a velocity u2. It is before collision. So it is before collision. That's why definitely in order to make a collision, definitely u1 greater than u2. Okay, here during collision, it is just before collision. Before collision. Okay, during collision, the two bodies come in contact like this on the smooth horizontal surface. At that time, this first body exerts the force on the second body in this direction. That is say F. At the same time, this is a action. This is action. The second body exerts the reaction force on the body in this direction. But that force is always perpendicular to the tangent drawn at this point, the common tangent drawn at this point. At the point of contact of the two bodies here, suppose when you draw the common tangent for both the bodies, then this force exerted by one body on the other body is perpendicular to this tangent. So this force F is called normal force. This force also, that is perpendicular to the point of contact at this point to this tangent, perpendicular to the tangent drawn at this point of contact. That's why this is also normal force. That means whenever two bodies are in contact, then normal force exerted by one body on the other body, that is called impulsive force. Because large force exerted by one body on the other body in a small interval of time, due to that there is a sudden change in momenta, or there is a sudden redistribution of momenta from one body to another body, and after that immediately they are separating away each other. So in this case, here the impulse received by any body due to normal force, that is called impulse of normal force. That is called the impulse of normal force here. So here this n is called impulse. It is the normal force, or it is called impulsive normal impulse force. This normal force is called impulse force. This normal force acts as impulse force. Impulse force. Here n is only the impulse force. At the same time, you see here the weight of the body acts vertically downwards direction. Weight of the body m1g acts downwards direction. At the same time, normal force exerted by the floor on the body in upward direction, that is say n1. Similarly, here weight of this body acts downwards direction. Normal force acts on the body in upward direction, that is n2 say. This n1 n2 are not impulsive forces. Because of this weight of the bodies does not have acquires there is not sudden change in the momentum of the bodies. If weight because of this weight, normal forces acts on the bodies vertically upwards. Because of these n1 and n2, these bodies does not acquire any momentum. There is no change in the momentum of these bodies due to these normal forces. There is no sudden change in momentum of these bodies due to these normal forces n1 and n2. That's why n1 and n2 are the normal forces only. But these are not impulsive forces. But due to which normal force there is a sudden change in momentum occurs. Such normal force is called the impulsive force. Here this is called this normal force acts as the impulse force. Okay. One example I want to discuss. It's very, very important for advance also. Very, very important. It is in our material also. Suppose on the smooth horizontal surface, there are two blocks. On the smooth horizontal surface, there are two blocks having masses. Both are having equal masses, M and M. This is block A. This is block B. This is block A and it is block B. Okay. Okay, here due to normal force, how we can write the impulse received? Due to normal force, how we can write the impulse received here? Impulse due to normal force. Impulse of normal force. Impulse of normal force is what here? Impulse of normal force. J is equal to, because is the force exerted by this body on this body, that is the impulse of normal force. Is it constant during collision or it varies with time? Anybody else respond? Is the normal force exerted by one body on the other body? Is that this normal force is called no doubt impulse force? Is that impulse force M remains constant or varies with time? It is not constant. It varies with time, because as long as the collision starts, then the two bodies compress each other. Due to that, the force exerted by one body on the other body gradually increases and reaches maximum value. Previously, I drawn the graph now. So based on that, according to that graph, the force exerted by one body on the other body changes with time. That's why in such cases, to find the impulse of normal force, we have to do integration method. Integral of N into dt. Integral of normal force into dt. In a small interval of time dt, the impulse received by the ball, any ball, due to normal force N is equal to N into dt. So total impulse received by any ball in the total interval of time from t1 to t2, that is equal to integral n dt between limits t1 to t2. That is the total change in momentum or total impulse received. That is equal to change in momentum of a body. That means final momentum of a body minus initial momentum of the body. Okay, now here there are two blocks having masses A, M each. Okay, here these two are kept on the smooth horizontal surface. Smooth. That means coefficient of friction is 0. Okay, these two are joined by means of a light inextensible string. The two blocks are joined by means of light inextensible string. Okay, now two identical blocks A and B are connected by a massless string or placed on a frictionless horizontal surface. A bullet having the same mass. Here there is a bullet. A bullet having same mass. A bullet having same mass M is fired onto this block B with a velocity u. This bullet is fired onto the block B with a velocity u. It is the bullet. A bullet of same mass M as the blocks is fired with a velocity u onto the block B, so that the bullet strikes the back side of the block B. In such a way, the bullet fired. What happens then? When here after bullet is fired, the bullet penetrates into the block and remains embedded in it. The bullet after fire, it penetrates into the block B and remains embedded in it. Remains embedded in it, or remains in it, remained in it, remains embedded in it, or remains in it. What happens? The bullet after fired, it penetrates into the wooden block B and it remains embedded in it. It penetrates into the wooden block B then remains embedded in it. What happens? Tell me. When the bullet fired into the wooden block, it penetrates into the wooden block and remains embedded in it. Then what happens? When bullet fired into this one, immediately bullet remains embedded in it, means in between bullet and this block B. What is the type of collision takes place? What is the type of collision takes place? The bullet, when penetrates into the wooden block, it remains in the block B only. Then both will move now. That's why what is the type of collision takes place here? So inelastic collision takes place. Inelastic collision takes place. When inelastic collision takes place, then this block B try to move in this direction. But at the same time, as the block B is connected to the block A by means of light inextensible string, when this block starts motion, then this block pulls this block also along in the same direction as that of the block B in forward direction. Now, at any instant here, whatever the velocity of the block B, the velocity of the block A is also same, because both will move together with the same velocity in forward direction. As bullet is also inside the block only, the two blocks A and B and bullet all travel with the common velocity in forward direction. What is that common velocity? What is that common velocity? So any type of collision obeys law of conservation of linear momentum. So according to law of conservation of linear momentum, tell me, initially only bullet is having momentum. That's why m into u. That is equal to remaining blocks are at rest initially before the bullet strikes the block B. Entire blocks, two blocks are at rest. That's why initial moment of the two blocks are 0, 0. Whenever the bullet fired into the block and remains embedded in it, then two blocks and bullet, all these travel with the same velocity or common velocity. That velocity is how much? So as both all travel with the common velocity, the mass of block A plus mass of block B plus mass of the bullet, all these three travel with the same velocity. That's why 3 can be imagined as a single body having mass, this one, into common velocity, say Vc. Common velocity Vc. Therefore, common velocity of the two blocks with along with bullet, common velocity Vc is equal to, we can write mu by m plus m plus m, that means 3m. That is equal to u by 3 now. So all blocks, two blocks and bullet travel with common velocity u by 3. Two blocks travel with common velocity u by 3. Two blocks travel with common velocity u by 3. Okay. Okay, now you see, whenever the two blocks whenever the block B is hit by the bullet, then our entire system will move in this direction, means this block B pulls this block A through string in this direction with the velocity u by 3, no? Actually, block B is not pull the block A in this direction. The string pulls the block in this direction. That's why the force with which the string pulls the block in this direction, that is called the tension in the string. The same tension acts on the body here, away from the body, means in this direction tension acts. Here, this block is pulled by the tension, not pulled by the block B. The block A is pulled by the tension. Here, whenever the bullet strikes the block B here, then immediately, suddenly, the block A, block B starts motion. That's why here, because of this tension, suddenly the velocity of this block A becomes u by 3. That means there is a sudden change in the momentum of this block A because of this tension. That's why this tension here, because of this tension, the block receives some impulse or change in momentum takes place. That is called impulse of tension. That is called impulse of tension. So here, impulse of tension on block A. Impulse of tension. Impulse of tension on block A. Due to tension in the impulse of tension on block A due to tension in the Y string. Due to tension in the string. is equal to, you see, integral, we can write tension acts on the body is capital T. Okay, here whenever the block, this bullet is penetrating into the wooden block, at that time the block starts moving in this direction. That's why tension gradually increases. That's why the tension is not constant here. Whenever the block is completely penetrates into the wooden block, then at that time the tension remains constant. But while penetrating here, tension is not constant. That's why the total impulse received by this block A due to tension is equal to integral dt into dt. This is called impulse due to tension or impulse of tension in the string. Impulse of tension received by the block A due to tension in the string, that is equal to change in moment of the block A. That means final moment of the block A, final moment of block A minus initial moment of block A. Final moment of the block A means mass of the block A m into final velocity of the block A means u by 3, no? Because all travel with the same velocity. This is also equal to VA, that is also equal to VB. That's why here m into VA minus initial velocity is 0 for this block A. That's why m into 0. So m into VA means u by 3, no? It is the impulse of tension received by the block A. This is say equation 1. This is say equation 2. In this way, impulse due to tension, impulse due to tension can be measured. Similarly, the impulse due to tension acts on this block is also same, because same tension is developed here also. That's why due to this impulsive tension also some change in momentum takes place in the block B. But at the same time, you see, whenever the bullet strikes the block, whenever the bullet strikes the block B, the bullet exerts perpendicular to the surface. The bullet exerts some normal force on the block B, no? Due to that normal force, the block receives the impulse. So due to normal force, what is the impulse received by the block? At the same time, normal force acts on the bullet also. If whenever the bullet penetrates into the wooden block, the bullet pushes the block in this direction with certain force. That is the normal force. So due to normal force, what is the impulse received by the block? That normal force exerted by bullet on the block, that is the action. At the same time, the block B also exerts the reaction force on the bullet. So bullet also receives the impulse due to normal force. So what is the impulse received by the block B due to normal force? We have to calculate. What is the impulse on C due to normal force? On C means bullet. Bullet is represented with symbol C. So impulse received by the bullet. Impulse due to or impulse of normal force. Impulse of normal force. You see, while the bullet penetrates into the wooden block, force exerted by block on the bullet is in opposite direction. If the bullet is moving in this direction, the normal force acts on the bullet by the block B is in opposite direction. That's why impulse of normal force N on bullet, integral N into dt, because this normal force acts on the bullet is also not constant. As long as the bullet penetrating into the wooden block, the normal force exerted by wooden block on the bullet gradually increases and reaches maximum value. And whenever all travel with constant velocity, at that time normal force exerted by block on the bullet becomes 0. During this time, what is the impulse received by the bullet? That impulse received by the bullet, integral N into dt is equal to final momentum of the bullet minus initial momentum of the bullet. Final momentum of the bullet means whenever the bullet penetrates into the wooden block, the entire system along with the bullet travel with a velocity u by 3. The mass of the bullet is m. Mass of the bullet mc into initial velocity u minus mass of the bullet mc into final velocity v. Okay, so here you see final velocity means vc. Bullet is also traveling with the same velocity, no? You write vc. So mass of the bullet is m. Of course, here as the mass are same, we can write m only. If there are different masses we have to substitute. Mass of the bullet into initial velocity of the bullet, final velocity of the bullet. So sorry, here final velocity of the bullet is vc, no? It is vc, it is u. Final velocity of the bullet is vc. That's why vc minus mc into u. Initial velocity of the bullet is u. So m into VC means we got u by 3 minus mass of the bullet m into initial velocity u. That is equal to minus 2mu by 3. No. Therefore, impulsive force received by the bullet due to normal force integral n dt is equal to minus 2mu by 3. Minus 2mu by 3. It is the impulse of normal force received by the bullet or impulse of normal force of the bullet is equal to integral n dt, that is equal to minus 2mu by 3. Minus 2mu by 3. Next, what is the impulse received by the block B? What is the impulse received by the block B? You remember this formula, u by 3. Impulse received by the block B, due to which the block B receives the impulse. Tell me, due to which impulse is received by the block B from the diagram, you tell me. Due to which block B receives the impulse. Due to bullet means bullet exert the normal force on the block B, no? That's why due to normal force impulse is received by the bullet. Then next, only due to bullet only is due to bullet alone is the block receives the impulse or any other? Yeah, tension is also very good. So due to tension in the sting also, because tension also acts on the block. That's why due to tension and due to normal force, due to these two forces, the impulse is received by the bullet. So total impulse received. Therefore, because of no doubt, as the impulse received by the normal force due to bullet is greater than impulse received by the tension, because of that only the block will move in this direction. If impulse received by the block B due to tension is greater than impulse received by the block this bullet, definitely the block B would be travel towards left. After collision, as the block B travel in this direction, means definitely the impulse received by the block B due to normal force exerted by bullet is greater than the impulse received by the block B due to tension. So net impulse received by the B is equal to integral net impulse received by the block B JB is equal to, as impulse received by the block B due to normal force of bullet, that is integral n into dt, because whatever the normal force acts on the bullet due to this block B, same normal force acts on the block B due to bullet also. That's why due to normal force n, here we see on the block B, normal force due to bullet acts in this direction and tension acts in this direction. Since final velocity is in this direction, which is equal to u by 3, velocity of block B is equal to u by 3 in this direction, definitely impulse received by the block B due to normal force is greater. That's why impulse received by the normal force integral n dt minus, because this impulse is in opposite direction to that of this velocity, that's why minus t into dt. This is equal to integral n into dt means impulse received by the block B due to normal force is equal to, here it is the impulse received by normal force due to bullet, that is in this direction, so minus we got. So impulse received by the block B due to a normal force is in opposite direction, that's why plus you have to write. So 2mu by 3 minus, what about the impulse received by the block B due to tension? Impulse of tension received by the block A is positive, because tension is in this direction, impulse received is also in the same direction, because final velocity is also in the same direction. That's why impulse of tension on the block A is positive. Impulse due to tension on the block B is negative, because of impulse received by the block B due to tension, as it is moving in this direction, the impulse received by the block B due to tension is opposite to the final momentum. That's why minus we are right. Minus impulse due to tension, whatever the impulse received by the block due to tension, here also impulse received by the block B also same, because here tension is same, here tension is same, time interval is also same. That's why integral t dt for this block and for this block both are same, but directions are different. Here, for this block, impulse received is positive, but here impulse received is negative because after impulse is received, as the block travel in this direction, okay, impulse received by the tension is in opposite direction to that of the final velocity of the body. That's why negative act, right? Same magnitude. So minus mu by 3. Therefore, that is equal to, when you add them, you will get mu by 3. It is 2mu by 3. So you will get mu, no? You will get mu. Is it correct? We will get mu, no? Now here, this is equal to integral n dt minus integral dt. That is the net impulse received. That net impulse received is equal to okay, here already you will get mu, no? Net impulse received is equal to mu, you will get JB is equal to mu. Okay. Or in other words, you see, impulse received by the block D, we have to find. This is equal to change in momentum of the block B. Change in momentum of the block B means final momentum of the block B, MB VB minus initial momentum of the block B, MV UB. So integral n dt minus integral t dt means TDT means this one, no? Minus mu by 3. You substitute minus mu by 3 is equal to MB VB means m into final velocity is u by 3 minus initial velocity is 0. That's why it becomes 0. Therefore, impulse received by the block B due to normal force. Of course, you will get same value. Same value you will get. This is equal to mu by 3. Mu by 3. Here minus of integral t into dt is equal to mu by 3, no? Integral t into dt. Okay, integral t dt value is this one. So here mu by 3 you substitute. So 2 mu by 3 you will get. That is equal to 2 mu by 3. So this is the impulse received by the block B. This is equal to impulse received by the block B. That is equal to plus 2 mu by 3. Impulse received by the bullet due to normal force is equal to minus 2 mu by 3. Impulse received by the block B is equal to 2 mu by 3. Because of impulse received by the normal force by the block B, it gains the momentum. That's why we got positive value. Impulse received by the normal force by the bullet, due to that its momentum decreases. That's why we got minus sign. We got minus sign here. It is for bullet. It is for block B. It is for block A. So these all are important. Here, impulse of tension. Impulse of tension on A, block A in the string is this one. Next here, impulse of normal force on bullet. It is the impulse received by the block B. Impulse received by the block B is equal to this one. Okay. So net impulse received by the block B means how we can write? Net impulse received by the block B means simply mu by 3 only. Net impulse received by the block B means initial velocity 0, so initial momentum 0. Final velocity u by 3. That's why net impulse received is equal to final momentum mu by 3 minus 0. That's why this is the net impulse received by the block B. Impulse received by the normal force on the block B means this one. Net impulse received by the block B means JB. JB is equal to integral n into dt minus integral t into dt. That is equal to final momentum of the block B, mu by 3 minus initial momentum is 0. That's why mu by 3. It is the net impulse received by the block B. Net impulse received by the block B. It is the impulse received by the block B due to normal force. Okay. Next, impulse received by the tension on the block. You will get negative. Impulse received by the block B is negative. That's why we have subtracted. We have subtracted impulse received by the tension. Impulse received by the block B due to tension is negative. That's why you have written negative. Okay. Again, we should not substitute minus sign. Okay. Therefore, impulse received by normal force on the block B is positive, mu by 3. Net impulse is equal to this one. Impulse received by the block B due to tension. Impulse due to tension on B is equal to integral P into dt. That is equal to negative because tension is in this direction, momentum is in opposite direction. That's why minus you have to write. Minus whatever the integral T dt, here also say minus mu by 3. This is the impulse due to tension received by the block B. In this way, we have to distinguish them. Okay, here we see, whenever the two blocks are kept at certain separation and joined by means of a light inextensible string, when bullet is fired, here all bullet, these two blocks are having same mass. When bullet is fired into the bullet strikes the block from the back side of the bullet block B. Due to that, the block penetrates into the block, the bullet penetrates into the block B and remains in it or embedded in it. Whenever the bullet remains embedded in it after firing, then the block along with the bullet travel together in forward direction. But at the same time, as this block B is connected to A by means of a string, the block B pulls the block A by means of tension in the same direction. That's why two blocks along with the bullet travel with the common velocity on the smooth horizontal surface. What is the common velocity means? Already we got u by 3. We got common velocity u by 3. Here, this block gains the velocity u by 3 means it gains the momentum mu by 3. This block B also, as this block B also travel with a velocity u by 3, this block B gains the momentum. That's why there is a net impulse received by the block B in the direction of its motion. Okay. At the same time, the initial velocity of the bullet is u. That's why momentum of the bullet is mu. But whenever it penetrates into the wooden block, the velocity of the bullet decreases to u by 3 along with the block. That's why the momentum of the bullet decreases. Why means whenever the bullet penetrates into the wooden block, at that time the block exerts some normal force on the bullet opposite to their motion. That's why the impulse received by the normal force on the bullet, because of this, the momentum of the bullet decreases. At the same time, the bullet exerts the same amount of normal force on the wooden block. Already we observed. The normal force exerted by bullet on the wooden block. Due to that, the block B receives an impulse. Due to that, the momentum of the block B increases. At the same time, the tension of the string decreases the momentum of the block. That's why here the block B receives the impulse due to tension, because everything will happen in a small interval of time. That's why impulse is received by the block B due to tension, but opposite to their motion. That's why because of impulse received by the tension by block B, the momentum decreases. The impulse received by the normal force exerted by bullet on the block B, it gains the momentum. Due to impulse due to tension on the block B, momentum decreases. That's why there is a net increase in the momentum of a block B. As the block B travel in this direction with a velocity u by 3, then there is a net increase in the momentum of the block. So net increase in the momentum of the block is equal to net impulse received by the block. Net impulse received by the block is equal to JB. That is equal to, because of normal force exerted by bullet on the block, the momentum of the block increases. That's why there is an increase in momentum of the block. That's why the impulse received by the block B due to normal force exerted by bullet on the block is positive. Next, the impulse received by the bullet due to tension the string, that is negative, because finally as the block travel in this direction, impulse received by the block B due to tension is in opposite direction. That's why negative. So minus you have to write. Then this is the net impulse received by the block B due to normal reaction or normal force and due to tension. That is equal to change in momentum. That means mu by 3 minus 0. It is the net impulse received by the net impulse received by the bullet. It is net impulse received by the bullet. Block B. Net impulse received by block B. So what is the impulse received by this block B due to normal force exerted by bullet on the block means same value. That's why we proved this impulse received by the bullet and impulse received by the block B both are same due to normal force. Just in order to show them, I derived here. Okay. If it is minus, definitely it is positive. Similarly, impulse received by the tension by block A, we got positive. Impulse received by the block B due to tension, that is negative. We got the same value, but negative. Minus mu by 3, here plus mu by 3. These are the impulses in different cases. Of course, here impulse due to tension is also covered. Impulse due to tension is also covered. Impulse due to normal force is also covered. Here, due to this normal, here also normal force acts. You see, because the weight mg acts downwards direction. Here, this normal force exerted by bullet on the block or block on the bullet, that is only the impulsive force due to impulse due to normal force. This normal force is not the impulsive force. Because of this normal force on the block due to earth in upward direction, no impulse is received. Because ఈ direction of momentum ఏం చేంజ్ కావట్లేదు కదండి. కాబట్టి these normal forces are not impulsive forces. NA, it is a NA. Here weight mg acts downwards direction. Here normal force mv. These NA and NB are not impulsive forces. Because of these forces, normal forces, the blocks does not acquire any momentum suddenly. That's why these are not impulsive forces. That is also important point. Here NA and NB are not impulsive forces. NA and NB are not impulsive forces. NA and NB are not impulsive forces. This is very, very important point. Okay. Today evening in study hour, I will take class and we will do some problems. In today's study hour. Okay. In today's study hour, we will do some problems. Instead of doing by you, I will explain different models in our material. Okay. Now we'll do the different problems. Different concepts and different problems now. Today we have to do the problems in our material. So these normal reactions acts on the two blocks due to its weights. They are not impulsive forces. Okay. Next, second type of impulsive force is the impulse of tension. Already I discussed it here. Impulse of tension. Impulse of tension. So impulse of tension means because of tension developed in the string, if there is a sudden change in the momentum of any block or body takes place, then we can say there is impulse received by the block due to tension. There is impulse received by the block due to tension. Already I informed that physics class will be there today. Okay, we will talk whether, and I will say, of course, if physics class is not there, definitely we will be having mathematics class. Okay, I will talk with the sir, then we will announce which class we will be having in uni. Okay, right. Impulse of tension. So because of tension developed in the string along its length, if any body receives if there is a sudden change in momentum or sudden redistribution of momentum takes place, then we can say there is a impulse of tension acts on the body. So how we can find? Due to tension in the string. Due to tension in the string, if change in momentum or linear momentum, change in momentum takes place in the body or in the block along the length of the string. Then the body receives, the body is said to be received, or the body is receiving, the body is said to have, body receives impulse of tension. Impulse of tension. Already, just we discussed now. In case of block B and block A, they receive the impulse due to tension now. Similarly, of course, this example here, whatever the example I want to say, that is already taught there only. Another different example we'll discuss now. Suppose here, one example I want to say. When does the body receives the impulse due to tension? I want to discuss. Suppose one body is suspended. This is also very, very important for mains and advanced. Here, by means of a string of length L, by means of a string of length L, one body is suspended. One body of mass M is suspended. Okay, but it is here the body is the wire is folded like this, and the body is kept here. This is the body having mass M. Here, this from this lowest point of the string, the height at which the body is kept, that the body is lifted, that is say H. Okay. Whenever the body is released, then the block body comes down, so that whenever the body comes to this position, then here it is the floor. Actually, this is H. This is equal to H. But the distance between the floor and this point of suspension, or you take this one, this distance. The distance between the floor and this point of suspension, that is greater than 2h, greater than 2h. L greater, sorry, distance between this and this, that is greater than 2h. The distance between point of suspension and floor, this is the floor. This distance is greater than 2h, means when you release the ball, then even ball comes down, it does not hit the floor. In further condition, it is mentioned like this. Even the ball reaches the lowest point, the ball does not strike the floor. Okay, in such a way, the body is suspended by means of a string from the point of suspension. Now, you see, whenever the ball is released here, the ball comes down up to this because of gravity only, no? Whenever the ball comes to this position, the string is not tight. The string is not tight. It is not tight. Up to whenever the body is released, up to this point, whenever the body comes down, because of gravity only, it acts as the freely falling body before the body comes to this position, or before the ball comes to this position. Up to that, the string is slacked only. The string is not tight, or it is not taut. It is slacked only. That means it is loose. That's why no tension is developed before the body comes to the lowest position due to gravity. That's why whenever the body comes from this position to this position, what is the velocity acquired by the ball? What is the velocity acquired by the ball? Yeah, it is released along the same straight line. Just, of course, in order to see the diagram here, I drawn like this, but actually it is fold like this only. These are very near to each other. So whenever the ball is released, then before it reaches the point here, before the ball reaches the point here, what is the velocity acquired? What is the velocity acquired? Whenever the ball comes from this position to this position, up to what distance it falls freely under gravity? Up to 2h, no? Up to 2h, the ball reaches, up to 2h distance, the ball falls freely. So what is the velocity acquired? Before it comes down, the velocity acquired is equal to root 2gh. 2g into h means up to what distance it falls? 2h distance, that's why 2h. That is equal to 2 into root gh. It is the velocity acquired by the ball before it reaches this position. If string is not there, then at this point it is having velocity 2 root gh. But immediately whenever the ball comes to this position, after falls to a distance 2h, immediately whenever this ball acquires this much velocity, immediately the string becomes tight. ఎప్పుడైతే బాల్ ఇక్కడి నుంచి ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేసిందో ఇంకా స్ట్రింగ్ స్ట్రైట్ గా అయిపోయింది కాబట్టి ఇంకా కిందకి ఈ వెలాసిటీలో కిందకి రావడానికి ట్రై చేసినప్పుడు immediately the string becomes tight. Whenever string becomes tight, immediately the string applies the tension. Some tension is developed in the string, and the tension developed in the string makes the velocity of the ball in downward direction become 0. So whenever the tension is developed, immediately the velocity of the body in this direction becomes 0. Am I right or not? Is it correct or not? Practically you imagine. Is it correct or not? Before the ball reaches this position, the velocity of the ball becomes 2 root dh. But whenever the ball comes to this position, immediately tension is developed because of string becomes straight. The tension is developed and makes the velocity of the body in downward direction 0. Is it correct or not? Okay. So whenever the velocity becomes 0 means momentum is 0. No? What is the initial moment of the body? Whenever the ball reaches the point A, before the string becomes tight, when body reaches the lowest position, its velocity u is equal to 2 root gh in downward direction. 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 When string becomes taut, tension is developed in the string, tension T developed and makes velocity of body v is equal to 0 in downwards direction. V is equal to 0 in downwards direction. Then what is the impulse received? Impulse J is equal to impulse received by the body due to tension. Therefore, impulse received by body due to tension. Impulse received by the body due to tension. J is equal to change in momentum of the ball, change in momentum of the body. Final momentum minus initial momentum. Or this is also equal to, we can write simply like this: integral T into dt. Impulse received by the tension is equal to integral T into dt. That is equal to how much? Impulse received by the tension is equal to final momentum becomes 0 minus initial momentum is 2 root gh. No, final momentum means in downward direction final velocity becomes 0. That's why final momentum becomes 0 minus initial momentum means initial velocity before it reaches the point here, velocity is 2 root gh. That's why initial momentum is, of course, m into 2 root gh. Therefore, J is equal to minus 2m into root gh. This is the impulse received by the tension, impulse received by the ball due to tension, or it is the impulse of tension. It is the impulse of tension. It is the impulse of tension. Minus sign represents impulse received by the ball is by the tension is opposite to the direction of its velocity. That's why its velocity decreases, so that momentum decreases. Ikkada tension itwaipu pani chestannappudu impulse received by the ball ee direction undi, కానీ దాని చేంజ్ ఇన్ momentum opposite direction ఉంది కాబట్టి మైనస్ సైన్ వచ్చింది. That's why impulse received by the tension, impulse of tension received by the body is negative, and which is equal to minus 2m into root gh. Minus 2m into root gh. This is the impulse received by the tension. I think you could understand how the impulse received by the tension. Have you followed this one? Impulse received by the tension. Are you follow this one? You respond. Okay, now impulse of friction. Impulse received by the body due to friction. Third one, impulse of friction. Suppose on the rough horizontal surface, on the rough horizontal surface, there is a plank. On the rough horizontal surface, there is a plank of mass m1, over which one body having certain mass m or m2 is dropped onto the plank. Here the plank is moving with a velocity v1. Here whenever the body is dropped to some certain height, here the plank is moving with a velocity v1 initially, with a constant velocity v1 initially. Okay. But whenever the ball is dropped or a body is dropped from certain height, before the body strikes this plank, it acquires some velocity, no? So suppose it acquires the velocity, say v2, before it strikes the plank. Before it strikes the plank here, it acquires the velocity, say v2. Okay, then whenever this body strikes the plank here, with velocity v2, so with momentum m to v2 or m to u2, say m to u2. So here it is say m to u2. Suppose this height is say h. The center of mass of the sphere is when it strikes is very less height. That's why that can be neglected. So suppose height say h. Then velocity acquired u2 before this body makes collision with the plank is equal to root 2gh. We can write now root 2gh. With this velocity, it makes collision with the plank. Suppose the coefficient of restitution here is say e. Coefficient of restitution between the body and this plank is say e. Then suppose it rebounds with a velocity. After collision, it rebounds with a velocity say v2. Suppose if the coefficient of restitution is e, along vertical upward direction with what velocity it rebounds is say v2. Then what is the formula for v2? For body m2. If coefficient of restitution is e for this body and this plank, then with what velocity it rebounds? It makes collision with the plank with a velocity u2, and u2 is equal to root 2gh. Then with what velocity it rebounds? That velocity with which it rebounds is equal to v2 is equal to, general formula is en into v, e to the power of n into v. E to the power of n means only it makes one collision. That's why e into v means velocity with which it makes collision. That is u2. Okay. Here this is equal to, here it gives only magnitude, because v2 is upwards, u2 is downwards. As u2 is downwards, we have to put minus sign. Of course, you will get negative. Minus v2, v2 is negative means that represents this v2 is opposite to direction of this u2. We can say. Of course, I am writing the magnitude here. E into u2. So e into roots. u2 means 2z into h. This is the final velocity of the body when it rebounds. It is the final velocity with which it rebounds after collision. So here actually why the velocity of the body changes whenever this body makes collision with the plank? How the velocity of the body changes whenever this body makes collision with this plank surface? Immediately the plank exerts the normal force on the body in opposite direction. At the same time, due to weight also some force acts. Due to weight also some force acts. But the force exerted by this body on the plank due to collision is very much large compared with weight. Weight of the body is negligible. Force exerted by the body on the other body due to collision is very large compared with the weight of the body. That's why weight of body is negligible. Weight of the body is negligible when compared with impulse received by normal force. Impulse received by normal force. In any case, here or here, the impulse received by the weight is negligible. Impulse received by the normal force due to collision is only considerable. Okay, that's why here, you see, here, normal force acts on the ball in opposite direction. So impulse due to normal force, N2 into dt. Total impulse received by this ball M2 or body M2 due to normal force acts on them is integral N2 dt. That is equal to how much? Tell me. That is equal to how much? Final momentum minus initial momentum. Final momentum minus initial momentum. Final momentum means M into M2 into V2 minus initial momentum is M2 into U2. Of course, whatever the values, this is the impulse received by the ball. Definitely you will get negative. Definitely you will get negative. Of course, we can substitute, I think. Integral N2 dt is equal to M2 into V2 means V2 E into root 2gh, no? E into root 2gh minus M2 into U2 root 2gh. So in both the terms we can take M2 into root 2gh common of E minus 1. This is the impulse received by the body due to normal force. Okay, this is very, very important. Next, here in between these two, there is no friction. It is the smooth. Between this body and this plank, surface of the plank, there is no friction, smooth. Okay, now here this is the impulse received by this body due to normal force. Next, at the same time, here also you see, whenever the body makes collision with this one, then normal force acts on the body is N2. At the same time, whenever this body makes collision here, as the normal force N2 acts on the body in this direction, okay, at the same time, with the same normal force, the body pushes the plank in downwards direction. No? In downwards direction, normal force N2 acts. At the same time, the surface of the floor pushes the plank in opposite direction with a normal force equal to say N1. Okay, here because of this N1 or N2 forces, is an impulse received by the plank along vertical direction. As the plank is moving along horizontal direction, it does not receive any any impulse along vertical direction. But at the same time, whenever the normal force acts on the plank due to earth, due to that friction will be developed. Due to friction, the velocity of this body changes, velocity of this plank changes. That's why due to friction along this direction, because of applied force, there is no change in the momentum. Only because of friction. Whenever this body strikes the plank in downwards direction, with more force. Suppose if ball does not strikes, then only weight of this plank acts downwards direction and a normal reaction acts on the body in upward direction, which is equal to M1z. But whenever this body strikes the plank, then the body pushes the plank in downwards direction with extra force N2, no? Because this plank exerts the reaction force on the body N2 in upward direction. With the same normal force, the body pushes the plank in downwards direction. In turn, the plank pushes the horizontal surface in downwards direction with a force equal to N2. Then the reaction force exerted by the surface of the earth on the plank in upward direction, that is equal to say N1. Due to this N1 or due to this N2, there is no change in the velocity along horizontal direction. If any impulse is received by the plank due to N1 and N2, that is along vertical direction. But along horizontal direction, no impulse is received by N1 and N2. But Whenever normal reaction acts on the plank changes or increases due to collision between this body and plank, due to that frictional force will change. Due to that friction, impulse received is equal to F into dt. That is equal to change in moment of the plank. Change in moment of the plank means m1 into final velocity of the plank v1 dash minus initial velocity of the plank m1 v1. v1 dash, it is the final velocity of the plank. Final velocity of plank. Here is the integral. F means mu into normal reaction n1. Mu into coefficient of, as it is a rough surface, definitely there is a coefficient of friction. Mu into n1. Okay, into, that is instead of F, into dt. This is equal to m1 v1 dash minus m1 v1 dash. So sorry, m1 v1. So based on this, we can find the impulse received by the friction. Because for a small interval of time, the friction increases. In a very small interval of time, whatever the time taken by the, whatever the time of impulse or time of collision takes place between the body and plank, at that time only there is a increase in the friction during collision. Because of this increase in friction during collision, there is a change in moment of the plank along horizontal direction. Okay, whenever the plank travels in this direction, friction acts in opposite direction. Definitely, this value will be more, this value will be less. That's why you'll get negative sign. Definitely, you'll get negative. This is the impulse received by the friction. Impulse of friction acts on the plank. This is the here mu n1 dt. That is the impulse of friction. Impulse of friction. In this way, there are three different types of. Okay, Ashwant, I will go slow. Negative sign means, you see, whenever the friction increases, definitely velocity of this plank decreases. No, that means v1 dash becomes less than v1. No, v1 dash becomes less than v1. Or friction force acts on the plank is in this direction, whereas velocity is in this direction. When friction increases due to collision, because due to collision, previously, whenever no collision is there, normal reaction acts on the plank is equal to simply weight of this plank only. And when collision takes place, the normal force exerted by plank on the body, that is N2, that N2 also acts on the plank downwards. That's why normal reaction acts on the plank increase. If it increases, friction increases. When it increases, the velocity decreases further. That's why this velocity, final velocity of the plank v1 dash will be less than v1. That's why you will get this value negative. No, that's why impulse due to friction is negative in this case. Impulse received by the plank due to friction is negative. You will get. Okay, so that is called impulse of friction. In this way, there are different kinds of impulses are there. Now we have to do some different problems. These are related to one-dimensional collision in one-dimension or one-dimensional collision. Related to one-dimensional collision, almost all different concepts are completed. Now, based on this, we have to do problems. Already have done some problems. Next, some examples I want to discuss. Example 1. Suppose there are two smooth inclined surfaces. There are two smooth inclined surfaces. This is the horizontal surface. Okay. This is the inclined surface. The angle between them is say theta. This is one surface. It is also smooth. All are smooth. It is smooth surface. Two smooth plane surfaces are kept at an angle theta. one ball having some mass m is made to move towards left with a velocity say v, with a velocity say v. This is very important concept. Here one ball is made to project with a velocity v towards left on the smooth horizontal surface. Here there are two smooth surfaces inclined at angle theta. Into this gap, this ball having mass m or the sphere having mass m is projected towards this left with a velocity v. Then this ball, as it is a smooth surface, with the same velocity only it is travel and it makes collision with these two inclined two plane surfaces kept like this. Okay, whenever this sphere makes collision with this one, at the instant whenever collision takes place, at the moment during collision, what are the forces exerted on the sphere? Tell me. No doubt the collision takes place between the inclined surfaces and the sphere is the elastic. Elastic collision takes place. Elastic means perfectly elastic. Elastic collision. Collision between the sphere and these planks is the elastic. That's why with what velocity it makes collision? Definitely with the same velocity it rebounces. With the same velocity it rebounces. Now tell me, what are the forces during collision? What are the forces acts on this sphere? You see, at this point, as the sphere is in contact with the inclined surface, actually if it is not there, the sphere try to move in this direction. But as the inclined surface is there, this inclined surface prevents the motion of the sphere towards left now. That's why here at the point of contact, this inclined surface exerts the normal force on this sphere perpendicular to the inclined surface drawn at the point of contact. That means in this direction. In this direction, due to normal force, some impulse is received by the sphere in this direction. In this direction, due to this normal force, some impulse is received by the sphere, that is say J1. Next, because of this impulse J1 received by the sphere, you divide this into components. You divide the impulse into components. As impulse is a vector quantity, we can divide into components. If it is theta, this is theta, it is 90 minus theta, so this is theta. Then this component is equal to J1 cos theta and this component is J1 sin theta. Okay. So whenever the sphere makes collision with this inclined surface, immediately it receives the impulse in this direction. That means the impulse component acts vertically downwards direction and this J1 sin theta impulse acts on the sphere in this direction. Because of this impulse component along horizontal direction, it rebounds back with a velocity v. At the same time, as the sphere receives the impulse in vertically downwards direction, which is equal to J1 cos theta, some normal force some impulse acts on the sphere due to horizontal surface. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఈ స్పియర్ యొక్క వెయిట్ వలన కొంత నార్మల్ ఫోర్స్ పనిచేస్తుంది, ప్లస్ ఇంపల్స్ కాంపోనెంట్ ఇటువైపు పనిచేయడం వలన ఆ ఇంపల్స్ ఎంత అయితే ఉంది ఇక్కడ ఇంపల్స్ కాంపోనెంట్ డౌన్వర్స్ డైరెక్షన్ ఎంత ఉందో దానికి ఈక్వలెంట్ ఇక్కడ ఈ డైరెక్షన్ లో కూడా ఇంపల్స్ ని రిసీవ్ చేసుకుంటుంది J2. బికాస్ ఆఫ్ హారిజంటల్ సర్ఫేస్ ఎప్పుడైతే J1 cos theta ఇంపల్స్ ఇటువైపు రిసీవ్ చేసుకుందో ఇమ్మీడియట్ గా ఈ ఫ్లోర్ ఆ ఇంపల్స్ వల్ల ఈ స్పియర్ ఇటువైపు మూవ్ అవ్వాలి, కానీ మూవ్ అవ్వట్లా. అంటే అదే అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం ద హారిజంటల్ సర్ఫేస్ ఆల్సో exert the impulse on the sphere in upward direction, vertically upward direction. Along vertical direction, as the sphere receives the impulse as J2 in upward direction and J1 cos theta in downward direction, even then there is no change in the momentum along this direction. Before collision, along this vertical direction, velocity is 0. Even after collision also, as it rebounds back with the same velocity, it does not receive any impulse. That's why net impulse along this direction is 0. That means J2 minus of J1 cos theta is equal to 0, or we can write J2 is equal to J1 cos theta. So along vertical, J2 is equal to J1 cos theta. This is equation 1. J2 is equal to J1 cos theta. Okay. Next, of course, here normal force exerted by this surface on this one is say N1. Here say N2. Then we can write J1 is equal to integral N1 into dt. We can write J2 is equal to integral N2 dt. We can write. Okay. Next, along horizontal direction. Along horizontal. impulse received by the sphere along horizontal direction is equal to J1 sin theta. No? Along horizontal direction, the impulse received is equal to J1 sin theta. Okay, J1 sin theta. That J1 sin theta is equal to how much? J1 sin theta is equal to how much? Along horizontal direction, final momentum minus initial momentum. Final momentum minus initial momentum. Final momentum is mass of the sphere, say m, then m into v, because as elastic collision takes place with the same velocity rebounds back, that's why mv. Of course, this velocity will not be given. This velocity is given, but the collision takes place between the sphere and these inclined surfaces is elastic, that is mentioned. Whenever elastic collision takes place, with what velocity it makes collision, with the same velocity it rebounds. That's why we have taken this one. It is not given by them. It is only given. Okay, final momentum mv minus initial momentum. mv is in this direction, but initial momentum mv is in opposite direction. Here, this is the initial velocity u, or initial velocity vi. It is the final velocity vf. This velocity is given. It is not given. It is imagined by us. Final momentum means initial momentum direction is taken as the reference. Final momentum is in opposite direction. That's why minus m into v we have to write. That is equal to 2m into v. So this is the impulse received along horizontal direction by the sphere. That is 2. Now from this 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, suppose if you divide those two, if you divide those two, 2 by 1, from 1 and 2, 2 by 1 gives 2 means J1 sin theta by J1 cos theta is equal to J1 sin theta by J1 cos theta is equal to J1 sin theta means 2mv by J1 cos theta means J2. Here J1 cancel. Tan theta is equal to 2mv by J2, or J2 is equal to 2mv cot theta we can write now. This is the impulse received by the sphere due to horizontal surface. Due to horizontal surface. What is the impulse received by the sphere due to inclined surface? J1 is equal to how much? J1 is equal to, already here it is there. J1 is equal to 2mv by sin theta. 2mv by sin theta. So J1 is equal to 2mv into cosecant theta we can write now. This is the impulse received by the sphere along horizontal direction, impulse received by the sphere along vertical direction. 2mv cosecant theta, it is 2mv cot theta. This method, this approach is important. Okay, Siddharth. J1 is equal to J2 by, okay, right. As they are smooth, yes, as they are smooth. Next. Shall I raise? In evenings, in evening I will post this entire topics in WhatsApp group. Okay. Next. What Varshit Reddy? It is V. J2 is equal to 2mv by tan theta. 2mv by tan theta means we can write cot theta. No, 1 by tan theta can be written as cot theta. No. Varshit Reddy. Okay, right. Next example 2. Suppose there are three identical spheres. There are three identical spheres, 1, 2, 3, having equal masses m, m, m. Here, this is under sphere, fourth sphere, say, it is having mass 2m. It is having mass 2m, and it is projected. Here, the center of masses of all the spheres lies along the same line like this. In such a way, the spheres are taken. Okay, here, this sphere is projected with a velocity v0 onto the three spheres like this. After collisions are completed, then whatever the velocities of the all spheres after collisions are completed. Tell me. After collisions are completed, determine the velocity of each ball after collision. Velocities of all balls after collision. In our material also this type of problem is there, so you can do now after completion of this. After having this knowledge, you can do velocities of all balls after collision. Okay, first of all, this sphere of mass 2m makes collision with this m now. Here all collisions. What type of collisions takes place? Elastically. All are making collisions elastically. All collisions are elastic collisions. That is mentioned in the problem. All collisions are elastic. All collisions are elastic means E is equal to 1. Suppose even in between these two semi-elastic collision takes place, then E will be given. When you are given E value, then definitely after collision, what is the velocity of the first body? What is the velocity of this body after collision means? We are having formulas now. We can find. Okay. Tell me, what is the velocity of this body after collision? What is the velocity of this body after collision? Velocity of this first body after collision. Velocity of first body after collision. V1 is equal to. Actually, it is the second body, first body, second body. So velocity of this body after collision means that is actually in our formulas it is V2. So what is the formula for V2? Tell me. Here collision between fourth ball and first ball I consider. Collision between fourth and first balls I consider. Okay. Then U1 is equal to V0, U2 is equal to 0. అంటే U2 అనుకోండి. ఈ రెండింటి మధ్య కొలిజన్ మనం కన్సిడర్ చేసినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ దీని ఇనిషియల్ వెలాసిటీ 0, ఇక్కడ దీని యొక్క ఇనిషియల్ వెలాసిటీ V0. ఓకే. ఆఫ్టర్ కొలిజన్ వెలాసిటీ ఆఫ్ ది ఫోర్త్ బాల్ V4 అనుకుందాం. వెలాసిటీ ఆఫ్ ఫస్ట్ బాల్ V1 అనుకుందాం. ఆఫ్టర్ కొలిజన్ ఆ V1 ఫార్ములా ఏంటి, V4 ఫార్ములా ఏంటి? Actually, ఇది మన in our view, it is the first ball. Velocity of the first ball after collision. What is the velocity of the first ball after collision? V4 is equal to general formula. You tell me. In case of one-dimensional elastic collision takes place, m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into u1 plus 2m2 by m1 plus m2 into u2. That is the formula. Here m1, m2 like that means here m1 is equal to m2 is equal to m3 is equal to all are equal to m, and it is m4. M4 is equal to 2m. Okay. So m1 minus m2 means 2m minus Kaplan. m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 means 2m plus Kaplan into u1 means v0. Thus, as u2 is equal to 0, 2 into m2 by m1 plus m2 into u2. U2 is 0. That's why 0 you will get. So this is equal to, you will get v0 by 3 now. So V4 is equal to V0 by 3. That means after collision, this fourth ball travel with a velocity V0 by 3. What about this first ball? This ball. This ball means V1. In our view, this is the first ball, this is the second ball. So velocity of the second ball after one-dimensional elastic collision takes place is what? First you imagine, you keep in our mind that it is the second ball. Of course, symbols are given different in the problem. So you keep in our mind that it is the second ball. After one-dimensional elastic collision takes place, what is the velocity of the second ball? You write the formula. Velocity of the second ball means 2m1 by m1 plus m2 into u1. 2m1, 2 into m1 means this one 2m by m1 plus m2, that means 2m plus m2 means m into u1 means v0 plus something into u2 0, that's why 0. So this is equal to 4 v0 by 3 no. That means after collision takes place between these two, first this ball fly off with a velocity 4 v0 by 3, this ball move with a velocity v0 by 3. Okay, now you see, whenever it fly off with a velocity 4 v0 by 3, immediately it makes collision with the neighbor sphere with the same velocity 4 v0 by 3. But in between these two also elastic collision takes place. Whenever elastic collision takes place between the two spheres in which one body, first body move with a velocity 4 v0 by 3, as we got positive sign, that represents after collision, this body travel in this direction. This body travel in this direction with a velocity v1. And it makes collision with identical sphere at rest. After collision, what happens? After collision, what happens? Two identical masses and identical spheres in which one sphere travel with a velocity v1 in this direction. When it makes collision with this one, just they exchanges their velocities due to elastic collision. Okay, that's why the velocity of this ball transferred to this one and the velocity of this ball transferred to this one. As it is at rest before collision, this first sphere after collision comes to rest and the second sphere travels with the same speed with which the first sphere makes collision. Okay, so first sphere comes to rest after collision between first and second spheres. Okay, due to one-dimensional elastic collision, of course, this collision is elastic. First sphere comes to rest as masses are same, and second sphere move with velocity v1. v1 is equal to 4 v0 by 3. Now second sphere starts moving towards right with the same velocity with which the first sphere strikes. So velocity of this sphere is 4 v0 by 3. It is at rest. Whenever collision takes place, again they exchanges their velocities. This velocity transferred to this one, this velocity transferred to this one. Of course, as it is at rest, this comes to rest and it fly off with a velocity 4 v0 by 3. Therefore, after collision between 2 and 3, 2 comes to rest and 3 move with velocity v3 is equal to 4 v0 by 3. Okay, so this final velocity of this 3 is final velocity only. But these two comes to rest. These two comes to rest. You see, first sphere already comes to rest. Second sphere also comes to rest here. But third sphere move off with a velocity 4 v0 by 3. As these two are at rest, again, after collision between these two, as the sphere travel with a velocity v0 by 3, now this sphere makes collision with the first sphere at rest with velocity v0 by 3. No, after collision, with what velocity it travel? After collision, it is the first phase. In next phase, again collision takes place between fourth and first. So here 2m, this is m. Of course, it is equal to, this is say m1 is equal to 2m. It is say m2 is equal to m. It is at rest initially. That's why u2 is equal to 0. Of course, it is the fourth sphere. It is the first sphere. Okay. But for our convenience, we have taken this is m1, this is m2. In any case, you take like this one. It is moving with initial velocity. After collision between these two, this move with a velocity v0 by 3. No, that's why u1 is equal to v0 by 3. After collision, this velocity becomes say v1, this velocity becomes say v2. Tell me what is v1? Or you take this is okay. You write first v1. What is the formula for v1? v1 is equal to m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into u1 plus, as u2 is equal to 0, this term becomes 0. m1 minus, that means 2m minus m by 2m plus m into u1 means v0 by 3 we got. So that is equal to m by 3, no? m by 3 into v0 by 3. sorry, m by 3m, mm cancel 1 by 3, v0 by 3, that means v0 by 9. What about this one? v2 is equal to v2 means 2m1 by m1 plus m2 into u1 plus u1. Next term as u2 is 0, next term becomes 0. 2 into 2m by m1 is 2m now, by 2m plus m into u1 means v0 by 3. Therefore v2 is equal to, you see, 4m by 3m, mm cancel 4m 4 by 3 into v0 by 3. That means 4 v0 by 9 you will get. It is v2. It is v2. That means the first sphere, after again one more collision, the first sphere fly off with a velocity 4 v0 by 9. With that velocity, this first sphere makes collision with second sphere at rest. Second sphere comes to rest now in that case. So now whenever it is at rest, it again makes collision with second sphere with a velocity 4 v0 by 9. So this fly off, as elastic collision takes place and masses are same, now this second sphere fly off with a velocity 4 v0 by 9 and it comes to rest again. So therefore, so in this way we have to analyze them. We have to analyze the problem. Okay, because of exchange of their velocities. So v2, therefore second sphere move with velocity 4 v0 by 9 towards right. Now first sphere comes to rest, but at that time the fourth sphere travel with a velocity v0 by 9 and makes collision with the first sphere. This is the last collision. Okay, next. Shall I write this one? Shall I erase this one? Okay, now at last fourth sphere is here having mass 2m. At the instant whenever fourth sphere travel with a velocity u1 is equal to this one v0 by 9. First sphere having mass m1, which is the first sphere, it is at rest initially. In last case, here this is m1, this is say m2. After collision, what about their velocities? So after collision velocities say v1, this is say v2. Final velocities. Okay, then v1 is equal to m1 minus m2. m1 means 2m minus m2 m by 2m plus m into u1. u1 means v0 by 9. Plus as u2 is equal to 0, next term becomes 0. So this is equal to m by 3. Of course, mm cancel 1 by 3 v0 by 9. That means v0 by 27 you will get. Next, for this sphere, of course it is fourth one, no? Fourth sphere. It is fourth one, that's why you write fourth. Velocity of the fourth sphere after collision. Velocity of the first sphere after collision is equal to. In this collision, it is the second sphere. So v1 is equal to question mark. Or you write v1 dash because previously v1 is there, no? So v1 dash is equal to. That means velocity of the second sphere, that is equal to 2 into m1 means 2m by m1 plus m2. That means 2m plus m into v1. u1 means v0 by 9 plus m2 minus m1 by m1 plus m2 into u2. As u2 is equal to 0, this term becomes 0. So this is equal to 4 by 3 into v0 by 9. That means 4 v0 by 27 you will get. So finally, velocity of the first sphere becomes 4 v0 by 9. Velocity of the second sphere is 4 v0 by 9. Velocity of the third sphere initially, velocity of the third sphere 4 v0 by 3. velocity of the fourth sphere v4 is equal to final velocities v0 by 27. Is there any possibility for further collision? You see, velocity of third sphere is very much more compared with v2. This is more compared with this one. This is more compared with this one. That's why after that there is no possibility of collisions. These are the velocities. These are the final velocities of the all spheres. These are the final velocities of the all spheres. Okay, in this way you have to do. I want to say very simple problem in this concept only. Very simple problem in this concept. Example 3. You can say directly. Orally you can say. If masses are different, in that case there is a somewhat problem becomes complex. If masses are equal, problem is very easy. Orally we can say. You say now. Suppose this is one sphere. All are identical spheres. All are having same masses. First sphere, second, third, fourth, fifth. Here, this sphere, first sphere is projected towards the other spheres with a velocity say u. What are the final velocities of the all spheres? What is the final velocity of all spheres? 12:47, 3 minutes more now. What is the final velocity of all spheres? Tell me. Orally, we can say 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Elastic collision. All collisions are elastic. All collisions. All collisions are elastic. Yeah. Very good. Because whenever this sphere makes collision with this sphere, one-dimensional elastic collision takes place. As mass are same, the velocities are exchanged. Initially, as it is at rest, after collision, this velocity transferred to this one means it comes to rest. This velocity transferred to this. Now this comes to rest. So velocity v1 is equal to 0. Now this starts motion with a velocity u in this direction. When it makes with this sphere at rest, collision with velocity u, it comes to rest, it fly off with a velocity u. This makes collision with this sphere with a velocity u, which is at rest here. Then it exchanges their velocity, so it comes to rest and it fly off with a velocity u. Whenever it makes collision with the identical sphere elastically, then this velocity transfers to this one. It comes to rest. That's why here these all spheres, first, second, third, fourth, all spheres comes to rest. But fifth sphere fly off with a velocity u. So v5 is equal to u. That's all. In this way also they may ask. If masses are different, then the problems become difficult. If masses are equal, we can use simply. We can find simply. Okay. Sometimes the collision between these two is inelastic, and collision between the remaining are elastic. Okay, I will say one more example simply. All are identical. No, all are not identical. Mass m, 2m, 2m. Here this is first, second, third, fourth. Between 1 and 2 inelastic. Between 2 and 3 or 3 and 4 elastic. Elastic collision takes place. Now you tell me, here suppose the first sphere is pushed with a velocity say u. Then after finally whatever the velocities of the spheres, first, second, third and fourth, you tell me. Here perfectly elastic collision takes place between these two. That's why after perfectly inelastic collision between these two stick together and move together. That's why these two, after collision, these two can be treated as a single sphere of mass 2m. Okay, then what is the common velocity for these two? Common velocity for these two is mu is equal to m plus m into v. V is equal to u by 2, no? That's why these two together after collision 1 and 2 together combine together so that the mass becomes this one and velocity becomes v is equal to u by 2, because according to law of conservation of linear momentum, this is the formula. So v is equal to u by 2. Now you tell me after final velocities of the bodies are, tell me final velocities of the bodies are, ఈ రెండు కంబైన్ అయిపోయినాయి అంటే ఇంకా దీనికి జరిగే కొలిజన్ ఎలాస్టికే కాబట్టి ఇది ఎంత వెలాసిటీ దీంతో కొలిజన్ జరిపిందో అంత వెలాసిటీ ఫ్లై ఆఫ్ అవుతుంది. ఈ రెండు కలిసి u by 2 వెలాసిటీ కొలిజన్ జరిపింది కాబట్టి ఇది u by 2 వెలాసిటీ ఫ్లై ఆఫ్ అయ్యి ఇది రెస్ట్ లోకి వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఇది u by 2 వెలాసిటీ ఫ్లై అయినప్పుడు ఈ రెండు మధ్య ఎలాస్టికే కాబట్టి కొలిజన్ జరిగినప్పుడు ఇది u by 2 వెలాసిటీ ఫ్లై ఆఫ్ అయ్యి ఇది రెస్ట్ లోకి వచ్చేస్తుంది. కాబట్టి ఆఫ్టర్ కొలిజన్ ఫైనల్లీ first second sphere are stick together. First and second sphere are stick together. So these two combine together. Okay. And final velocity v1 is equal to v2 is equal to 0. Next, it is the third sphere having mass 2m. It is at rest. Fourth sphere, mass 2m, fly off with a velocity v4 is equal to, what is the value that? U by 2. So this is the cases. So final velocities of the all spheres are this one, 0 0 0 0 u by 2. No, 0 0 0 u by 2. These are the final velocities. So final velocities of the spheres are 0 0 0 u by 2. This is the answer. Because for 4 spheres we have tried separately. Okay, right. With this, I conclude the class. Today evening, if possible, I will take class. Otherwise, Maths sir will take class. Varshit Reddy, what is your doubt? Varshit Reddy, I will unmute you. Speak with me. Varshit Reddy.
సార్ 2 3 4 మధ్యలో ఏమైనా గ్యాప్ ఉంటుందా సార్? 2 3 4
గ్యాప్ ఉన్నా కూడా గ్యాప్ ఉండొచ్చు ఉండకపోవచ్చు. ఇవి స్మూత్ సర్ఫేస్ మీదగా ట్రావెల్ చేస్తుంది.
అవును సార్.
సో దిస్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్.
సార్ సెకండ్ కొలిజన్ అన్నారు కదా సార్, ఇది కాదు సార్ పోయిన దానికి సార్ ఫస్ట్ చెప్పాను. సెకండ్ కొలిజన్ ఎందుకు అవుతుంది సార్? ఆల్రెడీ అవి ఏం పెద్ద గ్యాప్, సెకండ్ పార్ట్ రెస్ట్ లో ఉందంటే అది కూడా మళ్ళీ ఎందుకు వచ్చి కలర్ అవుతుంది సార్?
ఈ కాంటాక్ట్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ దీంతో కొలిజన్ జరిపేది ఇమీడియట్ గా విత్ ఇన్ నో టైం ఇట్ అక్వైర్స్ ద వెలాసిటీస్ ఇమీడియట్లీ u by 2. ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ ఇక్కడ జరిగే కొలిజన్ ఇనెలాస్టిక్ కాబట్టి దిస్ కంబైన్డ్ వెలాసిటీ బికమ్స్ u by 2. విత్ దట్ వెలాసిటీ అక్కడ కూడా ఇదే కాన్సెప్ట్, అది ఓకేనా?
అది సెకండ్ దానికి అది ఒక్కసారి సెకండ్ కొలిజన్ ఎందుకు అవుతుందో చెప్తారా సార్? అది రెస్ట్ లో ఉండి సెకండ్ కొలిజన్ సార్ ఎందుకు అవుతుందో?
సెకండ్ కొలిజన్ ఎక్కడ? ప్రీవియస్ కేసా?
అవును సార్.
ప్రీవియస్ కేస్ లో మనం డిస్కస్ చేసింది ఏంటి? ఇది 2m కదా, ఇది m ఇవేగా.
అవును సార్.
ఫస్ట్ ఇట్ మేక్స్ elastic collision with this sphere with a velocity say v. Then after collision the velocity of this body is something v1 say. Okay, then it makes collision with this sphere elastically, so they exchanges their velocities. It comes to rest and it fly off with a velocity v1.
Okay sir.
ఇది రెస్ట్ లోకి వస్తుంది, ఇది v1 వెలాసిటీ ఫ్లై ఆఫ్ అవుతుంది. మళ్ళీ ఇది వచ్చి దీంతో కొలిజన్ జరిపినప్పుడు ఇది రెస్ట్ లోకి వచ్చి ఇది v1 వెలాసిటీ ఫ్లై ఆఫ్ అవుతుంది. ఫైనల్ గా దీని వెలాసిటీ v1, ఇది 0 ఇది 0. అయితే అదే టైంలో దీనికి వెలాసిటీ 0 కాలేదు, ఈ రెండు మధ్య కొలిజన్ తర్వాత this is having some velocity. With that velocity again it makes collision with second sphere. Then second sphere acquires some velocity. With that velocity again it makes collision with this one. Okay. Again this velocity fly off with the same velocity as that of the first sphere, and first sphere comes to rest. The first sphere rest లోకి వచ్చినప్పుడు ఇది ఆల్రెడీ మళ్ళీ కొంత వెలాసిటీ ట్రావెల్ చేస్తాం కాబట్టి again it makes collision with this sphere. That's why final velocities we got 4 velocities like that.
సార్ అంటే సెకండ్ కొలిషన్ తర్వాత మళ్ళీ ఫిఫ్త్ బ్లాక్ టచ్ కావాలి కదా, ఫోర్త్ బ్లాక్ టచ్ కావాలి కదా సార్.
ఈ లాస్ట్ దాంతో మళ్ళీ టచ్ కావాలి ఇవన్నీ కూడా. ఈ లాస్ట్ కొలిజన్ జరిపినప్పుడు ఇంకా ఇది ఎక్కువ వెలాసిటీ ట్రావెల్ చేస్తుంది మిగతా వాటితో కంపేర్ చేస్తే. అండ్ కంపేర్డ్ విత్ ది ప్రిసీడింగ్ స్పియర్స్ ద వెలాసిటీ ఆఫ్ ది లాస్ట్ స్పియర్ ఇస్ గ్రేటర్. దట్స్ వై దే మూవ్ ఇన్ ఫార్వర్డ్ డైరెక్షన్. ద అదర్ స్పియర్స్ కెనాట్ మేక్ కొలిజన్ విత్ దట్ వన్.
ఓకే సార్.
When you move towards left, the velocities of the spheres gradually decrease. That's why finally these spheres cannot strike the first sphere.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Right. Here you see, finally it is the fourth sphere. No, in this previous example, it is the first sphere, second sphere, third sphere. Fourth is also there.
Yes, sir. Fourth.
Okay. Sir. Here finally. Velocity of third sphere greater than velocity of second sphere greater than velocity of first sphere greater than velocity of fourth sphere. That's why finally they never collide each other. This is the relation. Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Right now.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Love you. Bye. I am signing out.